Well, greetings to you. I just want to run a few things past you this morning. I'm wondering how we, and I say we, the British people, are going to explain to our grandchildren, or anybody's going to explain to our grandchildren or great-grandchildren, how the country collapsed. No other word for it. How it collapsed. And of course, for 1,000 years, we've defended ourselves from the foeman, as it were, physically. But we have collapsed from within, as much the same as the Roman Empire. I just want to run a few things past you, because I know most of the people I speak to just seem to be bewildered. Go to lunch parties or dinner parties and people just scratching their head, how do we get into this terrible mess? So let's address it. Let's look at what's happening and maybe somehow we can address the problem and maybe reverse it, although it may already be too late. There's a number of things, not necessarily in the order of priority, but first of all, fiscal, money. And we all know that money makes the world go round. And here we have the most extraordinary system where we give away every month £1 billion in unaudited foreign aid. We give billions of pounds to the Ukraine, Zelensky, which we know is one of the most corrupt governments in the world. And that's not my assessment, that is 4 years ago, the assessment of the Times of London. It is without doubt the most corrupt country in the world, which is why it was never allowed into the European Union. It's a basket case, but now we hand out billions of pounds to Zelensky and his mates. With the nonsense, it's going to save Europe, is going to save us from the great Russian bear and all that kind of silly nonsense. And if you go to Monaco, and I go to Monaco by and by, you will see the most extraordinary number of Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Mercedes and all the rest of it with Ukrainian number plates. We all know that Zelensky's got houses all over the world and money stashed in Swiss banks. We all know that. This is not me talking, this is fact of life. So we know, do we not, that money is going down that particular lavatory. And what else do we know? We also know, do we not, that we have this climate scam, hoax, call it what you will, nonsense that's going on, in which we pour money into. Net zero is costing us billions of pounds. The fact that we don't take our gas out of the ground, which is underneath our feet, and oil in the North Sea, which our own North Sea, and we buy stuff from Norway, and we buy electricity from France who have a nuclear system, so on and so forth. So we know we're buying all this unnecessarily, and we could easily home grow it if we wanted to. Very easily, but we don't. And then we have tax and regulation. We are regulated. And the tax system now is the highest since 1948. You thought it was bad under the Conservative Party, the people who wore a blue rosette, nothing conservative about them. So we have this extraordinary system where now we pay more tax than any time as a percentage of our GDP and population and so on and so forth, whatever calculation you make, since 1948, since before I was born, and I'm an old geezer. And then you have the immigration thing, mass immigration, which seems to have everybody scratching their head thinking it's gangs somehow in France that bring these people in. No, absolute nonsense. You have to wake up and see what is going on. We are providing 4-star accommodation, 3 square meals a day, preferential health treatment over the indigenous population, incidentally, as we all know. And this is why the reason that people from these third world countries are risking their lives to get here. Because it's bonanza for them. If they get here, it's absolutely marvellous. It doesn't matter what they bring to the party, whether they speak English or these people that are coming have absolutely nothing whatsoever that I can see that bring anything to the party. And I'm not anti-immigration per se, I'm just anti-mass immigration from people who are only going to sign on the dole, if you will, or suck at the welfare teat, when there's nothing much left here for us, certainly as far as the health system is concerned. How is it that the entire civil service now is politicised? They don't report to any elected minister. They're a law completely unto themselves. And we've got Tony Blair, of course, to thank for that. And so it goes on. We have no armed forces left. They've been hollowed out. Probably just as well. Otherwise, they'd all be in the bloody Ukraine or the bloody Iran or wherever it is now. Probably as well just got nothing to send. We can't get involved in silly forever wars if we have nothing for which to involve ourselves. We can't do it. It might be a good thing in disguise. We have a politicised police force who seem to be made up of moronic thugs, most of them, in uniform. And indeed, if they are in uniform, have you seen them? Whatever happened to a police uniform? There is what we used to call in the army old days, they look like a sack of shit or a bag of potatoes. Unshaven, scruffy, and worse, moronic. And then they get stuck into arresting people when they don't know the law, and we have to pay compensation. We pay, through our taxes and our rates, compensation for these moronic policemen. They should be taken aside and have it deducted from their income, or deducted from their pension fund, or something like that. They have to be responsible. All a policeman is an ordinary citizen who has been granted powers of arrest and various other advantages in order that he can do his job as a policeman. They are of us. They are part of us. They are part of our community, but they don't behave like it, do they? And we all know, there's no point in me banging on about this. If you're in court and you are in front of a Fabian judge, which is a closet socialist activist, if you are from one class of the community, you might go to prison for bad behaviour, and if you're not, you don't. And we all know how that works. We see it on our screens all the time. We see it on social media. And so it goes on and on. And so when, let's just take a look at Drax. There was something, I live not far from Drax, which is one of the biggest power stations in Europe. And this is fascinating. It's all part of the ridiculous net zero hoax. They're chopping down mature trees in North America. Then they're lugging them to a railway line or trucks. They're bringing them into the coast and they're shipping to us right across the pond. Using diesel engines, and they're dropping them here, and then they get on more trains and they come to Drax, wood pellets. Now, even if you believe the absurdity that carbon dioxide is a pollutant, even if you buy that piece of lunacy, you would be interested to know that burning wood creates more than carbon dioxide than coal. And Drax was built on top of a coal mine for ease of fuel. And yet they're talking about banning us from using wood fires and wood burners, which we have, and I live in a village where we've all got one. This is quite ridiculous. When I can see, from my land, I can see Drax. I can see the huge chimneys of Drax. I'm not allowed to burn wood, but they're burning it by the tons, hundreds and hundreds of tons a day. And that's because they're subsidised, and it's bought in from North America and other parts of the world. The subsidy is £100,000 a minute, I think, or something. It's huge. £2.7 million, I think, a week. But I mean, look it up. It's very easy. We're talking millions and millions, millions and millions of pounds. And it comes out of our tax, which we pay for, in order to try and keep the electricity prices down. But they're still the most expensive in the world. In the world, not in Europe, in the world. And so consequently, manufacturing is disappearing. Anything that uses electricity is disappearing because it's just too expensive. It's just crazy. It's absolute lunacy, all this going on. And it can only be, and this is what one needs to hold in, this is quite deliberate. We have politicians who are Fabians, Marxists, whose sole purpose is to degrade the country, and they're doing it by making everything expensive, by deliberately making things inflationary, and this is what they do. And I don't know whether it's even reversible now. And it was the same under the last government. The Boris wave of immigration was under the Conservative Party. It was under the Conservative Party. And so we think we've got an opposition, don't we? An opposition party. We think, oh gosh, we got some new opposition parties on the block, and they're filling up with the last lot. All they're doing is rebadging. It's like a Chinese MG. Yeah, it's a Chinese car. It's not an MG. They've got the badge. And all these comedians who are with these so-called new parties are just the same as the last lot. They don't even bother to hide it. And so it goes on. So when you tell your grandchildren, or you see your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, for posterity, you can say, we did this to ourselves because we were all fast asleep. We were all fast asleep, and shrugging our shoulders and saying, what can you do? I don't know. As most of you know, my work is very heavily independently research-based. And I get my information from all over the world. It would help if you press the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, because the more subscribers I have, the more likely it is that international independent research institutes will share their material with me. It's most helpful, and then of course I'll automatically share it with you. So surprise, won't cost you anything. Thank you very much.